David, what's your take on Zuckerberg's decision here, simply doubling down?
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, doubling down seems to be the right way to describe it. It's a rare example you can find when Zuckerberg has done anything that Donald Trump doesn't like in the recent past, which is ironic considering that Trump continues to pressure Facebook to do even more, and the general view on the right is that social media is unfavorable to the right. But it's hard not to believe that Zuckerberg has concluded that the cost to him of crossing Donald Trump is greater than what would be the value of acceding to the wishes of so many of his employees and so many people in the public to really apply some kind of standard of basic decency of rhetoric on the service.
It's interesting that you would draw a direct line there from Trump to Zuckerberg. Of course, we know that the president called Mark Zuckerberg on Friday. Supposedly, Zuckerberg told the president that he was disappointed in the tone and putting Facebook in a difficult position. Meantime, you've got Facebook employees walking out this week in the first, to my knowledge, public display of protest among employees at Facebook. You've got a couple of Facebook employees resigning today, publicly resigning because of this decision. Owen Anderson, a Facebook employee, tweeting today, "I'm proud to announce that as of the end of today, I am no longer a Facebook employee." Another employee, Timothy Avaney, posting on Facebook, "I cannot stand by Facebook's continued refusal to act on the president's bigoted messages aimed at radicalizing the American public." For a company that is so used to public scrutiny, and we've seen Mark Zuckerberg stand his ground in the midst of public scrutiny, I wonder if internal scrutiny by the company's own employees could have more of an impact on him and potentially getting him to moderate his stance.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Emily. The thing that Zuckerberg depends on the most is talented engineers. Seeing public resignations today is a historic first. Although to some extent, when Chris Cox resigned a year and a half or so ago, who was Zuckerberg's top deputy, there was a little bit of an aroma of public protest in that action too. But this is historic, the degree to which Facebook's employees are collectively organizing to disagree with and protest the company's behavior. If Facebook can't get good engineers, it can't continue with what really matters to Zuckerberg, which is growing and providing a service to everyone on the planet. But ultimately, I think Zuckerberg is playing politics with a lot of his so-called principled decisions about speech. I simply don't believe that he's following principle. I think he is much more political than he is willing to admit.
Well, interesting on that point, Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook, held a nearly hour-long call with civil rights leaders who came away pretty disappointed, again, about this decision. Color of Change President Rashad Robinson telling Bloomberg, "The problem with my ongoing conversations with Mark is that I feel like I spend a lot of time, and my colleagues spend a lot of time, explaining to him why these things are a problem, and I think he very much just lacks the ability to understand it." Not saying that he doesn't understand, but that he actually lacks the ability to understand it. What's your take on that?
My take on that is it's pretty disturbing. I'm not sure I would look at it quite that way, although in their public statement, the civil rights leaders said he did not demonstrate understanding of historic or modern-day voter suppression. You'd think that Nick Clegg, who is his head of communications and used to be the deputy prime minister in the UK, would be giving him some guidance here. I'm afraid that Zuckerberg doesn't, this is ironic, but I think he takes advice about as well as Donald Trump does. And if he doesn't know something, he doesn't acknowledge that he doesn't know it. And we're sort of reaping the harvest of that. But I want to just make one other point about this company. For all of my criticisms of it, and they are really serious, we can't deny that it's playing a very historically important role in this time of protest, and that is meaningful. And so, and in Zuckerberg's own mind, that's probably the kind of rationalization he makes, that he believes his service is providing a critical capability for the human race in the United States and elsewhere, and that any of these minor problems like being criticized over the speech of the president is relatively insignificant compared to his ability to continue spreading this incredible tool to everyone. And even though I think he overdoes that point of view, today we are seeing these demonstrators might not be able to accomplish what they're doing without social media and Facebook in particular, and Instagram.